Manhattan, as you may or may not know, is on sale. Real estate on the island has been holding up, that is, relatively well compared to national trends, but that may be about to change. For more on just how much, we're pleased to welcome an executive with us in the studio here who is known as the broker of the stars. Dolly Lenz of Douglas Elliman has sold about $7 billion worth of real estate in her career thus far, and currently she has about $3 billion worth of listings on her books. Dolly, always glad to have you with us here in the studio. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, dear.
So you're known, obviously, as a luxury broker, so $5 million properties plus. Now, even in this time, we've seen prices come down for this demographic. How much more can they come down, or will they come down?
Well, inventories are swelling, and buyers are few and far between, so they could have a ways to go. It's hard to say.
I mean, you've said in the past that a property has to be sold for, say, 25% off its last sale price to kind of give incentive to make a buyer come in. I've heard some estimates say prices could go down another 30% from that point. Is that too pessimistic? Is that about right? What do you think?
I think that's too pessimistic. I think there's a lot of intrinsic value. You know, Manhattan is an island. You know, we can go over all those things. But I believe 25% from the last tick on that type of property is a reasonable number.
What about inventory? I mean, you've said the $5 million plus is inventory rich, buyer poor. I mean, how many sales are you managing, let's just say for argument, this year versus last year or 2 years ago?
There are almost no sales right now in the over $5 million category. And people are just on the sidelines. They're waiting. They want to see what's going to happen. They want to hear the president's plan. They want to see it implemented. They want to see what Wall Street does. They want to know there's credit available. They're just waiting and watching, and they have the luxury of doing so.
Speaking of credit, I mean, most luxury buyers, if I'm not mistaken, tend to just buy in cash. So technically, the idea of credit maybe isn't so much of a problem, or is it becoming one in a way that you didn't see before?
Well, buyers always took credit. They just didn't need to. And, you know, it wasn't that they didn't take credit. It's just that they didn't have to. So, in other words, someone buying a $15 million apartment traditionally took more than 50% financing, whether on the books or off the books in a negative pledge loan. But it was just a question of how they did it, when they did it, because they would put their money with a hedge fund, earn 18%. Pay 7% to a bank, so it made sense. See, today it's a reverse number, so today they have to think about it, and there's no credit available, even for the uber rich.
I heard you say people are waiting to hear a little bit more details on the president's plan, sort of waiting to see what happens with Wall Street. What about the fact that the dollar has been strengthening? I mean, have you seen sort of less demand from foreign buyers because of that?
You know, it's interesting. We have a lot of foreign buyers. The problem is there is zero credit for foreign buyers. A banker I had dinner with a couple of nights ago said to me, you know what, Dolly, for foreigners right now, it's cash and carry. Banks do not want to extend credit to foreigners. I
want to get to Manhattan House. This was a condo conversion story that you were involved with. There's only a third of the units sold. Does this just show the problem of bringing something kind of new to market right now?
Well, it's not a third sold. I mean, that's what's been reported. In fact, as of Friday, it was 6% closed only. It is a problem, and it's going to be a bigger problem now. Conversions and new sales, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac just passed rules yesterday that unless a building is 70% sold, they will not finance in those buildings. So that's a conversion. Manhattan House is 6% sold. Or a new building. I don't know a building that's 70% sold. So now, really, they're putting all those businesses out of business.
Dolly, thank you so much,
as always.
Thank
you for having me.
Dolly Lenz there from Douglas Elliman.